What's up, guys? What's up, guys? It's PaddaKillz here, bringing you guys a brand new video. We're back, and in today we're basically doing a bracket challenge and the 2017 playoffs and everything. It's gonna be really fun. This is legit the best hockey ever. Like, there's like such good teams here. So versus New York. Carey Price versus Henry Lundqvist. This is going to be a battle of the goalies. I'm going to give it to the Montreal Canadiens. I think they're going to win probably in 6 games. I just think Carey Price is the best goaltender in the world, and I just don't feel New York is a contender. I mean, yet. I don't think they're like a championship team yet. Montreal, if Alex Galchenyuk, Radulov, Patrick, they all play like they did, and Weber and Price being Carey Price, Montreal is going to be a scary team, so I'm going to give it to Montreal in 6 games. Now we have Ottawa and Boston, and honestly, I think it all comes down to experience, and Ottawa, I feel they don't have that much. I mean, if Brad Marchand is Brad Marchand in the playoffs, the Bruins are such a good playoff team. We saw as in 2011, they're a good playoff team, and if Tuukka Rask can stay sharp, and if you have all 4 lines contributing, this could be Boston. But right now, I've looked at Ottawa, and Ottawa, they played great this year. I'm basically going to give this to Ottawa, and I think this is going to go Game 7. Ottawa's going to win in Game 7. I just think that Ottawa, they're a good team. They have Erik Karlsson. They have a good depth on forward. Obviously, they brought in Alexander Burrows. I think Ottawa, and if Craig Anderson can play solid, I think Ottawa's going to the 2nd round. Moving down to Washington and Toronto, I honestly think, I'm a Chicago fan, I don't want to be biased, but I honestly think Washington's going to win this in 5 games. I think Toronto's going to be lucky to survive 5 games. I don't feel like that they're going to win this. I just don't feel like, Toronto's going to get past Washington, because Washington, they're a powerhouse team. Braden Hope is so good. Moving down to the Columbus-Pittsburgh series. Pittsburgh, I mean, they're without Chris Letang, and Chris Letang, he's a big part of the 2016 run for Pittsburgh. And Columbus, they have Bobrovsky, they have Werenski, Atkinson. They have a lot of good players, but this is a series where you don't know what's gonna happen. I think this series, I'm gonna give it to the Pittsburgh Penguins in 7 games. I just don't think Columbus is going to beat the experience of Sidney Crosby, Guinea Malkin, Patrick Hornquist. And if Matt Murray is Matt Murray like last year, this Pittsburgh is definitely going to beat Columbus in 7 games. So moving on to Montreal versus Ottawa. This is going to be a great series. And this is going to be a very, very good series. I think it's going to be Montreal in 6 games. I think Ottawa is going to put up a good Canadiens. Will take it in 6 games. Again, if Carey Price is being Carey Price like he usually is, Carey Price at the big stages, Carey Price is really good. You look at the Olympics, you look at the World Cup, Carey Price is the best goaltender in the world. And if he is Carey Price, this team will definitely be Ottawa, and I think it's going to be 6 games. Moving down to Pittsburgh and Washington, I'm going to have to give it to Washington in 6 games. I don't feel like Pittsburgh is going to get past Washington. I mean, I think Pittsburgh was lucky enough to get past Columbus, but still, without Chris Letang, you're not going to make it. Plus, Washington has Backstrom, Hopi, Ovechkin, and then they have John Carl. Washington is a scary team, and I think this is their year, so I'm going to give it to Washington. Now, going to the conference final for the Eastern Conference, I'm again going to give it to Washington. Carey Price, I think Washington beat Montreal in 6 games. It's going to be Braden Hope versus Price, but I just think that Washington has such depth on their team. They have powerhouse scoring. I think Washington's going to get past Montreal in 6. Going to the Eastern Conference, Chicago versus Nashville. I'm a Chicago fan. I honestly think that this can go either way, actually. But on paper, obviously, I'm gonna give it to Chicago. I'm gonna basically give it to Chicago in 6 games. It can potentially go into 7 games. I mean, Nashville, they're a great team. They have Subban, Yossi. They have a really good defensive core, and Nashville, they can potentially upset us. So again, I actually think if I had to make another prediction video, I think Nashville could take us in 7 games. Because we did lose last year against St. Louis. Moving down to Minnesota and St. Louis, I honestly think Minnesota, they're such a good team. And I just don't think, St. Louis losing Shattenkirk, I just don't think St. Louis is going to beat Minnesota. I think Minnesota is going to take it in 5 games or potentially 6. I just think Minnesota is the better team. They're very good. They have a very, very good team, and Devin Dubnyk's been good, potential Vezina candidate. Moving down to Anaheim, Calgary, the rematch of the round 2 of 2015. Again, I think experience has to be a big play, and I think I'm going to give it to Anaheim in 6 games. You look at the Anaheim Ducks, they have Ryan Kesler, Ryan Getzlaf, Corey Perry, and John Gibson's been good. They have a good defensive core in Sami Vatanen, Hampus Lindholm, Cam Fowler. I honestly think that Anaheim is definitely going to get past Calgary in 6 games. I mean, they have much more experience. And moving down to Edmonton and San Jose, obviously, I actually watched regular season games, and Edmonton's beating San Jose. Right now, San Jose, Joe Thornton's not perfectly healthy. Same with Logan. Could honestly see Edmonton potentially beating San Jose in 6 games. This is going to be a good series because Connor McDavid he's been carrying Edmonton all this year. And Cam Talbot is the #1 goalie there and possibly upset San Jose. But I think Brent Burns is doing Brent Burns. San Jose is going to beat Edmonton in 7 games. Obviously, there's a potential that Edmonton, again, if I had to make another prediction video, I'm going to say that San Jose beats Edmonton. Now, going to the second round, Chicago versus Minnesota. I honestly think that the experience plays it again, and I think Minnesota is going to put up a big fight for us. They're a great team, but again, I'm going to give it to us in 7 games. I'm not trying to be biased, but Minnesota versus Chicago, we have a lot of experience. We got Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Duncan Keith, Seabrook, and if Crawford's playing like Crawford, like he has in 2013, 2015, and those years, even 2014, we could potentially get past. We have a lot of depth. We have Ryan Hartman. We have a lot of depth, and yeah. So next up, Anaheim versus San Jose. This is gonna be a big series, and I think San Jose is gonna beat Anaheim. I feel like if Martin Jones played spectacular in the finals last year, if he's playing like that. And if you have Brent Burns again doing Brent Burns things, if you have Yannick Hansen, these players who are contributing, San Jose has a edge on Anaheim. But you never know, Anaheim can also beat it. So there's a possibility that Anaheim can go. Now the Western Conference Finals, Chicago versus San Jose. I think, honestly, Chicago, I'm sorry if this sounds a little biased, but I think Chicago, again, is going to win. I'm going to clear that up for you guys right now. Our first line is Richard Panik, Jonathan Toews, and Schmaltz. And Panik, he's been doing really good this year, playing with Jonathan Toews. And Jonathan Toews is a clutch guy. He comes in clutch moments. And Nick Schmaltz has even proven to be a good player. And then right now we don't have Anisimov injured. I hope we can get him back soon because he has a lot of chemistry with Panarin and Kane. But Carroll's doing really good with Panarin and Kane. And Panarin and Kane, I think, are one of the best duos in the game, which is going to play a big role. Then I actually want to also point out our third line. We have Marian Hossa playing third line minutes. We got Ryan Hartman. We got these big players, and we have the fourth line is even good. And then I'm gonna get into our defensive core. We have Brent Seabrook, Duncan Keith, Brian Campbell, Nicholas Yarmison, Martin Rozarov, Johnny Aduya, TVR. We have a good defensive depth, which if any injuries do happen, we can replace them. And we have a good depth team, basically. And depth comes really important in playoffs, and basically experience and energy. So I see us winning in 6 games. Now going on, this is gonna be one of the best Stanley Cup finals. I think it's gonna be Washington. If I'm not gonna be biased, this is their year. Second President Trophy. Braden Hope, Ovechkin, Carlson, Oshie, Shattenkirk, Backstrom, Evgeny Kuznetsov. This is their year, and I think this is potentially game 6 or even a game 7. So Washington being the goals, I think there's gonna be like, I don't even know, I'm just gonna write a random number. I honestly don't care, but this is your my Stanley Cup predictions. Again, not everyone's gonna agree on me, so tell me what you guys think that's gonna happen. But I see this is what we'll take it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm actually, before I end off the video, I'm actually going to be doing each game of the Stanley Cup playoffs for Chicago. I'm going to do a daily basis, like what happens in each game. I want to keep you guys updated. And this is the best time of hockey ever, and it's really exciting, and I can't wait to the playoffs. It's going to be a really exciting experience. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and please subscribe if you guys are new. Peace.